This video is about the alpha rejected tradition by choosing a human bride. If this story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The alpha rejected tradition by choosing a human bride. The whispering woods of Eldergrove were a sanctuary for the Thornwood pack, shrouded in mist and ancient magic. Moonlight filtered through the towering pines, illuminating the clearing where the pack gathered. Tonight was the night they celebrated the upcoming union of their fierce alpha, Magnus, with a member of their kind. Yet the air crackled with tension, a prelude to the storm brewing beneath the surface. Magnus stood tall, his broad shoulders silhouetted against the ethereal glow of the full moon. His dark hair fell in waves around his face, framing piercing cobalt eyes that held the weight of both duty and desire. He was the epitome of strength, a leader forged in the fires of tradition, a tradition he was about to shatter. Tonight, we honor our lineage, his beta, Elias, declared, his voice commanding yet laced with concern. We will choose a mate who strengthens our bloodline, a true wolf at heart. Magnus's heart raced as he glanced to the side, where a figure stood apart from the pack, a figure who had mesmerized him since the moment they met. Clara, a human, her chestnut curls skating like a waterfall over her shoulders. She was an enigma, a flame in the shadowy night, and she had ignited something within him that no other wolf ever could. Elias, Magnus interrupted, his voice steady despite the maelstrom within him. I cannot marry a wolf, I cannot follow tradition, my heart belongs to Clara. Gasps whispered through the crowd like a gust of wind. The pack's eyes, filled with shock and confusion, turned toward Clara. A human, a mere mortal, was unthinkable as a mate for an alpha. What madness is this, Magnus? Lena, a fierce warrior of the pack, stepped forward, a brow furrowing in disbelief. You would forsake your legacy for a human. She cannot bear your children, nor can she lead our pack. I care not for tradition. Magnus's voice rose, resonating with raw emotion. Clara sees me for who I truly am. She doesn't T-boat to my title, she loves me without fear or expectation. Love? Elias scoffed, his expression hardening. Love will not protect our pack. Love will not keep our legacy alive. You're endangering everything we have built. Clara's heart raced, caught in the maelstrom of the pack's disdain. She had never meant to disrupt their world. She had met Magnus on the edge of the woods, drawn to the clearing by the sound of his laughter, a haunting melody that had filled her with an inexplicable warmth. Magnus, she said softly, stepping forward, her voice trembling. I never wanted any of this. I am just a human. I do not belong here. Don't say that, he replied, his eyes pleading. You are more than just a human to me. You are my mate, my destiny. I cannot let you go. But the packeth. Clara glanced at the wolves surrounding them, their expressions a churning mix of disbelief and anger. They will never accept me. Let them try, he growled, his alpha presence radiating through the clearing. I will fight for you, Clara. I will fight for us. As the tension thickened, the air shifted, and a sense of foreboding settled over the pack. A figure emerged from the shadows, a tall, imposing male with a mane of silver fur and eyes like molten gold. It was Thorn, the pack's most feared warrior and Magnus's oldest rival. An alpha who chooses a human as his mate is a weak alpha, Thorn sneered, his voice laced with contempt. You are doomed to fall, Magnus. Enough, Thorn. Magnus stood his ground, claws itching to extend. You do not understand the bond I share with Clara. It transcends bloodlines. Perhaps you should take your heart and leave the pack behind, Thorn taunted, a smirk ghosting his lips. You will regret this. I will ensure it. Before Magnus could respond, the pack began to ripple with doubt, their loyalty wavering like leaves in the wind. Clara's heart sank as she witnessed the turmoil she had unwittingly caused. Maybe it is for the best, she whispered, stepping back. Maybe I should leave. Enough? Magnus's roar echoed through the trees, silencing the murmurs. You are not going anywhere. You belong with me, with our pack, our family. I will not let them drive you away. The pack's tension reached a breaking point. Alina stepped forward, her voice laced with authority. This is madness, Magnus. We must stand united. A human cannot lead us. You are playing with fire. Or perhaps, Clara interjected, her voice steady despite her trembling heart. I can show you that I am more than a weakness. I can be strong for you. Tension crackled as Clara's brave declaration hung in the air, but doubt lingered in the eyes of the pack. Magnus reached for her, his fingers intertwining with hers, creating a bridge of unity between their two worlds. Let us show them, he said, his voice a low growl, that love knows no bounds. As the moon continued its climb in the sky, bathed in silver light, the pack stood at a crossroads, tradition or love. Clara felt the weight of their gazes, heavy with expectation, yet her heart surged with a fierce determination. I will prove myself, she declared, her voice rising above the whispers. I will train, I will fight, and I will protect this pack as Magnus would. I will show you that I am worthy of him, and worthy of this family. A murmur of surprise rippled through the wolves, but Magnus's pride swelled as he watched Clara stand before them, unwavering. Then we begin tonight, he said, his gaze locked on Clara's determined face. We show them what a human can do. Elias frowned, skepticism etched in his features. You are putting our pack at risk, Magnus. If Clara fails, it will be on you. Or if she succeeds, it will be on us all, Magnus countered, an unwavering fire blazing in his eyes. We either adapt or we perish. Clara is my destiny, and I will not forsake her. The night deepened, and the pack gathered around, the tension palpable as Clara took a deep breath. The forest held its breath, the moonlight bathing them in its glow as destiny spun its intricate web around them. In that moment, Clara felt the stirrings of a bond, a mystical link weaving through the very fabric of her being. It pulsed with power, igniting her spirit and intertwining her heart with Magnus's. Could she truly become one of them? Could she bear the burden of love that defied all odds? The moon watched over them, a silent witness to the unfolding saga of love and tradition, a tale that would shape the fate of the Thornwood pack and bind a human's heart to a wolfess forever. As Clara and Magnus clasped hands, hope flickered between them, a promise that transcended tradition and forged a new path, one filled with challenges, betrayal, and redemption as they navigated the treacherous waters of love against all odds. ***, the Alpha rejected tradition by choosing a human bride. Part 2 ***. The shadows of the Elder Grove woods seemed to deepen as Clara stood before the Thornwood pack, her heart racing as she felt the weight of their collective gaze. The moonlight danced between the trees, illuminating her resolve while casting long shadows of doubt over the wolves that surrounded her. Tonight, Clara continued, her voice strong yet trembling, I will prove myself worthy of your Alpha. Magnus stepped closer, his presence radiating warmth. Remember, Clara, it is not just about proving to them, it is about believing in yourself. Believe in myself, she whispered, her eyes glistening with uncertainty. How can I, when I know that many see me as an outsider, a weakness? Elias stepped back, arms crossed tightly over his chest, skepticism etched on his face. You may train, but wolves are not human. The instincts that guide us do not dance to the rhythm of human hearts. I am not just any human, Clara replied, her voice rising, emboldened by Magnus's unwavering gaze. I've seen your world through Magnus's eyes. I've felt the connection, the pulse of magic binding us. I will not be a weakness, I will be your strength. Thorns scoffed from the edge of the gathering, a dark shadow against the pale moonlight. You think you can change centuries of tradition in one night? Your heart may yearn for the wolf, but you cannot outrun your nature. Let her try, Magnus interjected, his voice slow and rumbling like thunder. I will stand by her side. If she falls, it will be my burden, but if she rises, we all grow stronger. Courage flickered in Clara's heart, competing with the dread that lingered like fog around them. The pack's loyalty always lay with tradition, as she could feel their doubts like lead weights pulling her down. But she would not yield. Let us begin, she said, determination hardening her resolve. Show me your ways, teach me the strength of your pack. Elias's brow furrowed, skepticism still lingering. You will train at dawn, but don't you expect to win anyone over so easily, human? The path ahead is fraught with challenges. Then let the challenges come, Clara replied, her heart pounding with the thrill of the unknown. I will face them all. As the pack dispersed, Magnus took Clara's hand, his cobalt eyes searching hers. Are you ready for this? They will push you to your limits. I was never afraid of the limits, she breathed, feeling the electric charge of their connection. And I have you to guide me, that is enough. He smiled, a brilliant light in the dark woods, and she felt warmth blossom within her. Let us go home. Morning broke over the Elder Grove, the sun spilling golden light like molten honey across the forest floor. Clara stood in their training ground, heart racing as the pack gathered around her. They spoke among themselves, their memories a constant reminder of the wall she faced. Today, you will learn to fight, Elias announced, stepping forward with a warrior-esque grace. But remember, Clara, wolves are not just about strength, it is instinct, strategy, and understanding the pack. Clara nodded, swallowing her fear. I understand. First lesson began with training in agility and speed. Clara ran alongside the wolves, her breath coming in gasps as she pushed herself harder. The wind whistled through her hair, a melody of freedom, but exhaustion soon settled in her bones. Faster! Thorn barked, standing like a sentinel, arms crossed, his golden eyes flickering with disdain. You will never match us with that pace, human. Then I'll train harder, she shouted, forcing her legs to move faster despite the burning in her muscles. She felt Magnus's eyes on her, a steadying force that pushed her onward. As the sun reached its zenith, Clara was breathless and panting, yet a fire burned within her. The wolves may have been conditioned for the wild, but she was fueled by love and destiny. During a break, Clara sat by a tree, wiping sweat from her brow as Magnus approached. "You are doing well." "Do you really think so?" she replied, glancing at the watching pack. "They still see me as an outsider." "Give it time," he said gently, kneeling beside her and brushing a stray hair behind her ear. "Your heart is already winning them over, even if they don't see it yet." "I hope you're right," Clara murmured, leaning into his touch. "But what if I fail?" "Then we'll face that together," Magnus said, his voice firm. "You are not alone in this." Magnus's support emboldened Clara, but doubt still lurked in the shadows of her heart. She knew the path ahead was treacherous, plagued by challenges that would test her at every turn. Weeks passed in a whirlwind of training, the rhythm of life in the pack becoming both her challenge and salvation. Clara fought alongside the wolves, embracing every lesson with fierce determination. She learned to track scents, to read the subtle language of their body movements, and to move as one with the forest. Yet as she advanced, so did the whispers of dissent. Thorin, ever the shadow, fed the doubts within the pack. "Do you really trust her?" he asked Elias one evening while Clara trained in another clearing. "The human will never understand the heart of a wolf. She fights harder than most," Elias replied, a hint of admiration creeping into his voice. "She has something powerful within her." "Powerful or not, she will never be one of us," Thorn countered, his tone-cold eyes glinting with malice. "Magnus is blind to the danger. She will bring our downfall." The words hung ominously in the air, a noose tightening around Clara's hope. She continued to train, driven by purpose, but the shadows of doubt loomed larger with each passing day. The decisive moment arrived on a stormy evening, heavy clouds clumping together in a dark embrace above the elder grove. Clara stood near the edge of the clearing, heart racing as the pack gathered, a palpable tension filling the air. "Tonight we test our strength," Elias announced, his voice booming through the rain. "A challenge awaits, but it's not just a measure of physicality, it is about unity. You must work together." Clara's heart raced with anticipation and fear. "What kind of challenge?" she asked Magnus, who stood beside her, strength radiating from his presence. "A fight against the elements," he replied, his gaze steady. "We will face a storm, and you must navigate it as a pack. Are you ready?" "I am," Clara declared, a fierce light igniting in her heart. "We will show them." The storm broke with a roar, rain pouring down in torrents as Clara and the pack stood together, united against nature's fury. They moved as one, navigating wind and rain, the howl of the storm echoing in their ears. But in the chaos, Clara felt a sudden tug at her heart, an instinctual warning. She glanced around, realizing that Thorn and a few other wolves had separated from the group. They were retreating, their eyes narrowed with intent. "Thorn!" Magnus shouted, but the rain drowned out the sound. Before she could process, Clara sprinted after them, fueled by instinct. "Stop!" she yelled, her heart pounding fiercely. "What are you doing?" Thorn turned, a scowl etched into his features. "We are showing you the truth, Clara. You are not one of us. You are a weakness." "Stop!" she cried again, grounding herself in the moment, forcing her heart to believe in the bond they have forged. "You are wrong. This storm is meant to unite us." But Thorn lunged, and Clara's instinct surged. She dodged, the wolf within her awakening, igniting a power she had not known she possessed. "Magnus," she shouted, as she fought back against Thorn's aggression, refusing to yield. Magnus reached them, eyes fierce and protective, as he pushed between Clara and Thor. "Enough," he roared. "This is not the way. We are a pack." The storm raged around them, the elements echoing their strife. The pack began to gather, eyes wide with disbelief as Clara stood her ground, battling against Thorn's challenge. "I am not a weakness," she shouted, determination burning fiercely in her chest. "I am your mate, destined to stand with you." As thunder cracked overhead, Clara felt the raw pull of the magic that bound them all. The storm echoed with her resolve, and she could feel the pack's uncertainty shifting. "Join me, my pack," she cried, her voice a rallying cry against the storm. "Together we are stronger." A silence followed, as if the very storm paused to listen. One by one, wolves stepped forward, eyes locked onto Clara, and she could see their doubt melting away, replaced by respect and admiration. Elias stood tall. Aster Iskister is the alpha rejected tradition by choosing a human bride. Part 3. Aster Iskister is. Elias stood tall, his eyes narrowing as he took a step forward, uncertainty mingling with newfound respect. You've shown us more than we thought possible, Clara, but this storm tests more than strength, it tests loyalty. I want to let you down, Clara replied, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. The storm raged on, but she felt the energy around her shift, a whisper of the bond growing stronger between them all. We rise together, or we fall apart, that is the heart of a pack, isn't it? Magnus's gaze bore into her, pride and something deeper swimming in the cobalt depths. You've awakened something within us all, Clara, but Thorn's betrayal cuts deeper than you know. We must confront him. Confront him? Clara echoed, her heart racing. What if he and his followers refuse to stand down? What if they're replanning something worse than a fight? I can let them destroy what you've fought so hard to protect. We'll all make them see, Magnus growled, his voice low and commanding. We will show them the power of unity, the strength of our bond. Together, we are unstoppable. Together, Clara whispered, the word carrying the weight of destiny. She took Magnus's hand, feeling his strength flow through her. The surge of determination ignited her spirit, and she could almost see the threads of magic weaving around them, binding them closer. But as the storm began to recede, the clouds shifting to reveal patches of silver moonlight, a sense of foreboding lingered in the air, thick like fog. Clara could sense the unease among the pack, lingering doubts whispering through their thoughts. Magnus? Thorn's voice cut through the silence like a knife, pulling their attention. The silver-furred warrior emerged from the shadows, flanked by his loyal followers, eyes glinting with malice. You were a fool to side with a human. You've betrayed everything we stand for. Enough. Magnus shouted, stepping forward, the alpha aura radiating from him like an impenetrable shield. You don't understand love, Thorn. You never have. I refuse to let your hatred dictate our future. Thorn's laughter echoed harshly, a chilling sound that sent shivers down Clara's spine. You believe love will protect you. Love is a burden, Magnus, and you've burdened our pack with a weakness. I am not weak. Clara's voice rang out, fierce and unyielding. You think being human makes me less. I've fought for this pack, for you all. My heart beats as fiercely as any wolf's. Prove it. Thorn challenged, stepping closer, eyes narrowed with derision. Defend yourself against me. Show us that you deserve to stand beside our alpha, or step aside. This is your chance to prove that you belong. Magnus moved to intervene, but Clara held his gaze steady. No, let me. Clara. Magnus warned, but she silenced him with a look. I want you back, Dan, she declared, her heart pounding fiercely. This is what I want, to fight for what I believe in, for you, for us. Very well, Thorn sneered, a predatory gleam in his eye. Let the human face the wolf. Let us see if she can withstand the storm. As Clara stepped forward, the tension thickened, a charged atmosphere that felt almost electric. She could feel the pack's eyes on her, some filled with dread, others with curiosity. But she was no longer the outsider. She was part of this family, and she would fight for them. The clearing transformed into an arena, the remaining rainwater pooling at their feet, glistening under the moonlight. Clara took a deep breath, grounding herself. I will show you, Thorn, she said, her voice steady. I will show you that love is our strength. With a fierce growl, Thorn lunged forward, his movements a blur. Clara's instincts kicked in, and she sidestepped, narrowly avoiding his strike. She could feel the power coursing through her, the magic intertwining with her spirit, an ancient force edging her forward. Faster! Magnus shouted from the sidelines, his voice a grounding force. Clara shifted her weight, her heart racing, and focused on Thorn, who circled her like a predator. You think you can outrun me? He taunted, his voice dripping with disdain. You were just a human playing at being a wolf. As he lunged again, Clara anticipated his movement, rolling beneath him and rising to her feet with a grace that surprised even her. She could feel the pack's energy pulsing around her, and with it, her resolve strengthened. Not just a human, she replied, her breath steadying as adrenaline surged. I am Magnus's mate. I belong here. With newfound confidence, she charged forward. Thorn's eyes widened in surprise, and she seized the moment. She ducked low, her shoulder colliding with his midsection, sending him stumbling backward. A ripple of shock swept through the pack, but Clara didn't stop. She pressed her advantage, keeping her movements nimble and fluid, fueled by love and determination. Is this your strength? Thorn snarled, regaining his footing, lunging once more. But Clara was ready, pivoting at the last second and throwing him off balance. Strength isn't just muscle. Clara shouted, her voice echoing with passion. It is heart, it is courage. You underestimate what love can do. With a powerful shove, Clara sent Thorn sprawling, his pride as bruised as his body. The pack erupted, a chorus of howls and cheers igniting the night, their loyalty shifting like the wind. Enough! Magnus' roar silenced them, stepping forward to stand beside Clara. This pack stands united. Clara is not just a human, she is my mate, and we will not let tradition bind us. Thorn rose slowly, his eyes filled with fury and disbelief. "UV made a grave mistake, Alpha. I will not let this stand." Clara felt the tension in the air shift again as Thorn's followers exchanged uncertain glances. "You think your bond will protect you?" Thorn spat, his voice sharp as a blade. "This isn't over." "Then let it begin," Magnus replied, his voice firm. "We will face every challenge together. If you wish to challenge our union, you will face the entire pack." One by one, wolves began to step forward, aligning beside Clara and Magnus, their loyalty swelling like a tide. The winds of change were blowing, and Clara could feel the shift in their hearts. "It is time for a new tradition," Elias said firmly, stepping forward. "One that embraces love, strength, and unity." As the full moon peeked through the storm clouds, Clara felt a surge of hope. She had fought for her place, and now they would create a new destiny, one that blended the best of both worlds. "I will fight for each of you," Clara vowed, her heart strong and true. "I will show you that together, we can rise above any storm." In that moment, the pack roared in agreement, their voices echoing through the elder grove, a symphony of strength and purpose. Clara felt as if the magic had woven around her, binding her to the wolves she had once feared, now her family, her pack. As the storm fully passed, leaving a crisp clarity in the air, Clara turned to Magnus, their eyes locking in a moment rich with unspoken promises. "Together," she whispered, and he nodded, the connection between them radiant, transcending all doubts. Together, they would forge a new path, a path of love, acceptance, and destiny woven beneath the watchful gaze of the moon. The Alpha rejected tradition by choosing a human bride path for The moon hung low in the heavens, casting silvery rays upon the clearing as the Thornwood pack stood united in the aftermath of the storm. Clara felt the warmth of their loyalty, a tapestry of acceptance woven through the night, but doubt still lingered like shadows at the edges of her mind. Magnus' cobalt gaze was unwavering, filled with pride and a fierce determination that ignited a flicker of hope within her. "Tonight has changed everything," he said, his voice deep and resonant, reverberating in her chest. "We will not allow fear or doubts to dictate our fate." "I want to believe that," Clara replied, her heart racing as she felt the weight of the moment. The thunderous echoes of the pack's cheers still rang in her ears, but beneath the surface, anxiety twisted in her stomach. "But Thorn will not let this go." "Let him come," Magnus replied, his lips curling into a confident smile. "We are stronger now, united by love and loyalty. I won't let him tear us apart." Clara nodded, but uncertainty gnawed at her. She had fought for her place among the wolves, but a deep-seated fear whispered that it was only a matter of time before Thorn struck again. "What if he tries to challenge you, Magnus? What if he gathers more support?" Magnus' expression softened as he reached for her hand, intertwining their fingers. "Then we will face it together. Love is our strongest weapon. It binds us, Clara." The bond they shared pulsed between them, a living thing that resonated with the magic of the Elder Grove. Clara closed her eyes, letting the sensation wash over her, but a shadow of doubt remained. Could love truly conquer the traditions and enmity that had long forged the Thornwood pack? Days passed, bringing with them a fragile peace. Clara trained rigorously, her determination unwavering, but the specter of Thorn loomed ever closer. She could feel the tension in the air, thick and electric, as whispers traveled through the pack like a restless wind. One evening, Clara practiced her agility, her movements fluid and graceful. She overheard Elias speaking with a cluster of wolves near the edge of the clearing. "Thorn's plotting something," Elias said, his brow furrowed with concern. "He rallies those who doubt the Alpha's choice. We must prepare for what is to come." "I thought we put an end to it," Clara whispered, feeling the chill of fear settle over her. She approached, heart pounding. "What are we going to do?" Elias turned, his expression grave. "We stand firm, but Thorn is cunning. He will attempt to undermine our unity. We need to be vigilant, Clara. Every wolf must be reminded of what it means to be part of this pack." "I can help," Clara insisted, her voice steady. "I want to show them that I am not just an outsider. I belong with you all." "Proving it will take more than just training," Elias replied, his tone softening. "It will require your heart to beat in rhythm with the pack. You must embody the spirit of a wolf." "I will," she vowed, determination flaring within her. "I'll do whatever it takes." Days turned into weeks. blending into a whirlwind of training, bonding, and persistent whispers of doubt. Clara felt the pack begin to shift around her, some embracing her as one of their own, while others held tight to the traditions that threatened to tear them apart. As the full moon approached, Clara sensed a change in the atmosphere, an electric tension that crackled through the air. She stood beside Magnus under the ancient oak that served as a gathering point for the pack. "Something is coming," she murmured, her instincts prickling with unease. "I can feel it." Magnus's expression grew serious. "We will face it together, my love, no matter what Thorn conjures, we stand as one." The night of the full moon arrived, cloaked in a shroud of anticipation. The pack gathered, their eyes glinting in the moonlight, tension thickening the air. Clara stood beside Magnus, holding his hand tightly, their bond a beacon of strength. But as the celebration began, Thorn's voice sliced through the night, dark and foreboding. "Tonight, we witnessed the folly of our alpha," he shouted, stepping forward, flanked by a group of loyal followers. "You honor a human, betraying our lineage." Gasps rippled through the pack, and Clara felt the weight of their gazes, a mix of anger and uncertainty. Magnus stepped forward, his voice low and fierce. "I honor love, Thorn. Clara is my mate, and that bond is stronger than bloodlines." "Your love will become your downfall," Thorn replied, a sneer twisting his lips. "This pack needs an alpha who understands strength. I challenge you, Magnus, a fight for the future of the Thornwood pack." "Enough." Clara stepped forward, her heart racing as she faced Thorn. "You think this is about strength? Love is the greatest strength of all. I won't let you divide us." "Stay out of this, human," Thorn growled, his eyes narrowing. "You real weakness, and I will prove it." Magnus moved to shield her, but Clara stood her ground. "No, let me face him. I will show you all that I am not afraid of him or of you." The pack fell silent, eyes darting between Clara and the brooding figure of Thorn. "Very well," Thorn smirked, his voice dripping with scorn. "Prove yourself in this challenge. You think you can withstand the fury of a wolf?" "I can and I will," Clara declared, a fierce fire igniting within her. "I fight for love, for this pack, and for the future we all deserve." The clearing transformed into an arena, the atmosphere thickening with expectation. Clara's heart thundered in her chest, but she could feel Magnus's unwavering presence beside her, his support a warm balm against her doubts. As Thorn lunged, Clara's instincts took over. She dodged nimbly, feeling the wind of his movement as he passed. "You think you can outpace me?" he taunted, circling her like a predator. "You are just a human." "Not just a human," Clara shot back, her voice steady and fierce. "I am Magnus's mate, and I belong here." The battle intensified, their movements a blur as Clara fought against Thorn's aggression. She felt the magic of the elder grove wrapping around her, the strength of the pack pulsing through her veins. Every ounce of energy flowed into the fight as she dodged and countered, refusing to yield. The pack watched, a tapestry of emotions etched on their faces, fear, hope, and admiration swelling together. Clara's heart raced with determination as she met Thorn's gaze, letting the conviction of her love shine through. "Is this your strength?" Thorn snarled, lunging once more, but Clara sidestepped, grasping power from deep within. "It is more than just strength," she declared, her breath steadying. "It is love that binds us, that makes us stronger than any one of us alone." With a powerful shove, Clara threw Thorn off balance, causing him to stumble. The pack erupted in cheers, and for the first time she felt acceptance blooming around her like a wildflower pushing through concrete. Magnus stepped forward, his voice booming through the clearing. "This is our future. We redefine what it means to be a pack." "Enough." Thorn spat, his fury palpable as he pushed himself to a standing position. "You think this is over? The pack will never accept you. Clara, you are nothing but an outsider." Clara's heart sank for a moment, but she refused to let his words shatter her. "You are wrong, Thorn. I have fought for my place among you, and I will continue to do so. I am part of this family." The pack erupted into howls, a chorus of support rising to the moonlit sky. Clara took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of their acceptance wash over her, pushing out the shadows of doubt. "Join us," Magnus urged, his eyes fierce and proud. "Together, we are more powerful than any tradition. Clara is our strength, not our weakness." Thorn's expression twisted with rage, but Clara felt the connection binding her to the pack growing stronger. They were no longer divided, they were united by love, loyalty, and a shared destiny. The challenge had brought them closer, forcing them to confront their fears and embrace the unknown. Clara stood tall, her heart pounding with hope, knowing they would forge a new path together. "Together," she said, her voice ringing with conviction. "We are family, stronger than before." As the moon bathed them in silver light, Clara felt the magic of their bond wrapping around her, a force that would guide them through whatever darkness lay ahead. And as she stood beside Madness, she knew they would face every challenge together, united in love and destiny forevermore.